Good morning from the Isle of Skye. Well, before I go any further with this video, I just want to thank you all so very much for the response to the last video from the Quiraing here on the Isle of Skye. To say I'm overwhelmed is very much an understatement. The likes, the comments, the subsequent subscribes and all the views, it's just absolutely amazing. So thank you very much. So this morning, well, I've come back to the Quiraing, the exact same spot I was in my last video, because I came here on Monday of this week, so that was 6 days ago, it's now Sunday. And I just came out for a walk. And while I was walking here, I discovered the different viewpoints that I actually used between my first and second visits. And actually quite a big difference as it turns out. So I thought I'd come back here this morning because the forecast was promising. Sorry, I'm just looking around because the light is coming out, but it's not really doing anything. Because the forecast did look promising, but I don't think it's really going to do much because the sun has just come over the cloud and it's just going to go into blue sky. So there's probably not going to be, any kind of direction of the light. It's just going to bathe everything in light. But it still gives me the opportunity to talk you through the mistake I feel I made between the first and the second visit. So I'm actually hand holding my R5 shooting this video because of the superior quality over my little Canon M50 for video. And I'll just turn you around. And so I'm on the path that I would have been on, well, that I was on in the last video. And as we come round, now as I said, this was covered in snow last time, as you saw. And what I was doing, I was actually looking for flat sections that I could safely set up my camera and tripod. Now, I probably would have dismissed this first one here just because of the path being in the view. However, obviously it was mostly covered in snow anyway. So it probably wouldn't have been a problem, but it just doesn't look very good. So as we come back down to the path, and then just a few meters away is this section here, bigger, flatter section. And if I just zoom into 35mm, which is what I was shooting at, 34-35, you can see that was my composition on my second visit. Now obviously this is a 16:9 ratio, so slightly different to obviously the full crop that I would have been shooting at. Now if we turn you back round again, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to safely get back down to the path, and we'll walk to the second viewpoint, or the first viewpoint really, that I was on my first day. Now as you can see, it's actually a lot further along the path than I thought it was. It's a good, 10-15 seconds of walking, and here it is here. And if I just get up to it now, and if I show you the view, as you can see, that is the view I had on my first day. So, like I say, I made that mistake in my viewpoints. I know people in the comments were saying, oh, there was nothing wrong with cropping the second shot. But for me, that's not how I work. I don't like to crop my photograph after the fact to improve my composition. I've got no problem obviously cropping to a 4:5 or a square or 16:9. But when you're cropping on two right angled edges of the frame to improve your composition, that's just not for me. So that's why I will hopefully, like I say, return in the similar conditions to I had to get that shot. Now, let me just have a look. Actually, the sun is hitting the landscape. Now, if I just turn you around, I've actually got my tripod already set up there. Because when I first arrived, I thought I'd work up my viewpoint, and it's actually not where I'm standing now, which was where I was standing on my second visit. It's just slightly up off the bank, because I just thought, I put more work into it this time, let's put it that way, and it just seemed like a stronger composition to me. And there's my little M50 just there. So the light is actually not too bad. So what I'll do is I will get my camera on the tripod, see what the shots look like, and I'll show them on the screen. Okay, so before I put any shots up on the screen, I've been waiting for the light to change, because there is cloud moving across in front of the sun, and it is directing more. When I was actually doing my last piece to the camera, the light was hitting all the foreground, which is not what I want. I want the light predominantly hitting my background, which is kind of doing at the moment. It's not quite hitting it how I would like it. And to be honest with you, I think actually, in hindsight, this is probably going to be working better in another month or two. I think the sun is just a little bit too far to the south still, to the actual shot I want, because it's hitting cleat right on the left. But as the sun will then come back a little bit further north, it will just get a little bit more light on the hill. But what I'll do is I'll take some shots so that I can obviously show you what I mean. And a little bit of light hitting the foreground, the bottom right hand corner of the shot at the moment. It's a shame because the sky is quite nice. The light is actually, it's quite a nice light at the moment. It's what, about an hour and 15, no, not an hour and 15, about 20 minutes, sorry, after sunrise. You know, the shot, it's okay, but I'm getting that light on the bottom right hand corner of my frame. So what I'll do is I'll just hang fire for a bit and see if it gets any better. But the problem is, as the sun gets higher in the sky, it will then go further and further south, and is of course not what I want. I think I do want a little bit more northerly direction. So yeah, but I'll give it another 10-15 minutes, maybe half an hour maximum, and see what happens. Yeah, it's still getting a lot more light in that bottom of the frame now. I'll just keep taking some shots just so that I can show you exactly what I'm getting and what I'm talking about. Now, it's actually not too bad at the moment. I'm not getting the light exactly how I envisaged it, but the light at the moment has actually gone off my foreground and it is just hitting the background. I've got a nice sky and everything, and it's gotten really quite dark now. I think it's actually, yeah, it's probably going to start either rain or snow. It's quite cold. It was 1 degree when I arrived at the car park this morning, but actually it seems to have warmed up a little bit, unless it's just my adrenaline going. And I'll just take another shot. Yeah, we are forecast for some snow later on today, overnight tonight and through tomorrow, so I may head up to the Old Man of Storr for sunrise, because I haven't been to Storr for sunrise this winter yet. And yeah, it's actually not too bad, I think. This is almost kind of what I envisaged. So I am getting more light on cleat on the left hand side, yeah, but it is actually picking out the dark rock and the green grass, or the kind of yellowy green grass with the light as it is at the moment. I'm just going to check my histogram, so they underexpose that, and take another shot. Well, the light's still good. Yeah, I'm much happier with this composition with the 50mm lens on compared to last time. So I'm looking at the screen because it keeps losing focus, not at the lens. But yeah, the light's probably just going to go in a minute because it is going further and further up into the cloud. So it's going to stop doing stuff. I'll just keep taking shots. So I've got a variation of shots to look through. Just keep checking my histogram. Now, no chance of any lens flare this morning, really, because of the position of the sun and the fact that I'm using the 50mm lens on. So obviously it's not got a wide angle of view to potentially pick up the sun coming across the front element of the lens. Actually, you know what? I'm actually quite liking this, how the light is hitting the background. So it's actually working out not too badly. I'm a lot in shadow now. The sun's coming to the left of my face, my right hand side is in shadow, so hopefully it's looking okay. Yeah, so I'll just keep taking some shots. So I guess we'll finish there, and once I've stopped rambling, I'll put up some shots. So again, thank you very, very much for the response to the last video. This one's been a bit more kind of hectic, I suppose, with me kind of running around hand holding this. I've looked back at the footage that I shot earlier and I'm very overexposing some of it because I couldn't see the back of the camera at times. But hey ho, it is what it is. But yeah, thank you so much again. I know I keep saying this for the last video. As you can tell, I'm rather overwhelmed. Hopefully you did like this video. And a little bit rushed, I suppose, at times, because the light did actually start playing ball. I'll take another shot actually. just before the sun does completely go. And yeah, so yeah, like I said, hopefully you did like this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Any comments below, much appreciated. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to the video, please consider doing so. And that is down below, somewhere down here, I think. And hit the bell notification icon to be notified of when another video is uploaded. Until that one, bye bye. And here's the photographs I got this morning. So here we have two photographs which I captured on this morning side by side. On the left we have the photograph where I was talking about in the video how the light was hitting my foreground. So this area here. Now this is very much a personal preference of mine, however I don't like that light in the foreground. I'm using this foreground just to frame the bottom of the image, and hopefully the light hits the landscape where I want it to, which if you look at the right hand photograph is this area here predominantly, so the hill of Cleet here. I'm just using that shadow in the foreground to help to draw the eye to my subject. And also you've got these really nice rocks here, which I alluded to in the previous video, especially this rock here, which draws the eye directly to Cleet. Now, see, this is just very much a personal preference of mine. You may like the image on the right more, you may like the image on the left more, but for me, it's the one on the right. And here are both images larger on the screen now.